Hello guys, this is Lamar Black for No More Black Attack. And today we're going to go over the shadow, because I spoke on it in my last videos, and somebody wanted to know more about it. He said we should talk more about it. And I got it from the Swedish psychologist called Jung. And he is one of my favorite psychologists, and him with Nietzsche and others, Greek philosophers. And I go within that realm for when I need advice, when I need some information. I go back in time and try to find scholars or great individuals who touched on the subject, because what we're going to do today is not new. There's always been depression, there's always been anxiety, there's always been suicidal ideations. There's always been conflict within ourselves. But today, with social media, everything is instant, so nobody really want to do the work to go back and figure out what's really going on with ourselves. That's why today this video will be called Jung, the Shadow. And this is what he reads on the shadow. I'm going to read this slowly, and I might sound like a retard, but hey, I might be a retard. Okay, let's see. Okay, he said, the shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable more effort. You got to really try to get in contact with your shadow. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real, like it's a real thing. This act is the essential condition of any kind of self-acknowledgement. You hear people saying all the time, you need to acknowledge oneself. You need to analyze self-discipline, self-acknowledgement. But you can't get there unless you understand shadow work. So when somebody tell you, hey, you did the work, it means going within and working with yourself, trying to figure out what is going on. Okay, and I'm going to stop this here. And wait a minute, I'm going to put this here. This one here I like here. Try to highlight it. Okay. And here it says, everyone carries a shadow. And the less of it embodies in the individual conscious life, the darker intense it is. The more you try to put it on the back burner, or you try to bury it, but deep within, it gets stronger and stronger, and denser and denser. It can overtake you. Then you wonder what happened. You're like, I don't know what happened. This thing happened to me, and I don't know why. You are the one that did the thing, That's one that you say. Furthermore, is constant contact with the others, with other interests, so it's continually subject of modification. Basically, they're saying it's always going to be there, so you can work with it and modify it, try to make deals with it, negotiate with it. Basically, that's the very, not even a barely introduction of the shadow. Basically, what he's saying is, we're not one, we are two people within one person. Our shadow is deep desires within us. It's real and it's present, so we got to get in contact with it. The more we contact with our shadows, the more we become self-acknowledgement. We start to know who we are. We're not perfect. And we have the shadow, and it's within us. We got sometimes we are Christians, and it's a battle. God's telling you one thing, and your shadow telling you this animal instinct, and it can be very confusing. And you might think you're a bad or evil person. You may have a lot of guilt. That's where a lot of guilt come from, because you be wondering why I did this, why I can't be perfect. For example, if you eat too much, you be wondering why I can't just put the spoon down. It's willpower. It's not willpower. Just you're not in contact with the shadow enough. The shadow is not always bad. It can be good. It can kick you in the butt. Say, hey, put that spoon down. Hey, you need to go walking. I don't feel like walking. No, you need to get out and walk right now. Let's walk. So it's a positive of it. If I'm a man, so I need to feed my family. So if I don't have money, my shadow need to say, hey, get off your butt. Go get on an airplane. Go be a flight nurse. Go make some money for your family. Feed your kids. There's a positive part of it. And the negative part of it is deep desires. So I don't want to admit that I'm pretending that I'm a perfect husband, a perfect man. I don't have these desires. That's the hidden part. Well, I don't hide it personally, but people hide those feelings, and they wind up doing things they regret later. I tell my kids about the shadow. I say, my daughter, yeah, you a sweet girl, sweet feminine girl, but you're also a jiu-jitsu fighter and a judo, fighter. You are a fighter. So if your shadow needs to come out to defend yourself, you need to do it. No matter if it's at school or work or play, if somebody trying to attack you, your shadow needs to come out to defend yourself until you can escape. You're human and not some fantasy perfect thing. That's why I don't trust people to say, I'll never do that. I would never, ever do something that is human. If you're a human, you are capable of doing what human does. That's the shadow. That's the introduction of it. I'm in contact with minds, and I'm going to give you a couple quotes, then I'm going to set the video down. I know people, I'm not a psychologist, I'm just a psych nurse. I use the shadow in my daily life, so I have to talk about it. So let's share my screen again and see if I can get a little more insight on it. This time I might focus mostly on the quotes. It might work, it might not. Okay. This is some of the quotes. If you were ever young, teenage lovers are in love, their first love, you would understand this one here. Carl Jung said, where love rules, there's no willpower. And where power predominates, love is lacking. One is a shadow of the other. So if you were ever young, you know what I'm talking about. When you solely in love, you eat off love. You didn't need food, you didn't need anything. You just needed that person. So I said, well, love rules. When love is totally dominating you, there's no willpower. You don't know what to do. If they leave me, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump off a bridge. You don't know what to do because you're totally helpless, like a baby, because you have no willpower. And when you are powerful, I got a PhD, like Mrs. Samuel's, soundbite. I got a PhD. I don't need a cookbook. That's where it come from. We all powerful, and you dominant. Love is lacking. You're gonna be missing something. Love's not gonna be there. Your PhD gonna be there. You don't need a cookbook. Gonna be there. You're not in contact with your shadow. Your shadow say, hey, you need to pick up the cookbook and start learning. Yeah, you had a PhD, but you also, love gonna be lacking. Nobody gonna be respecting you if love is lacking. Why would they want to be mate with somebody who's missing out on love? They don't have love to give. They don't have time to give. So this is a very important rule. That's why I'm a strong, dominant person myself. So I always make sure I wake up and kiss my wife in the morning. I always come up behind her, make sure I hug her. I always make sure I thank her for whatever she do for me. For example, she cook for me or anything like that. And I always make sure I try to give my kids a hug. I tell them I love you every now and then. And also my shadow need to come out when I need to discipline. Hey, you need to do your homework. Sit down and clean your room down. If you don't clean your room, you're not gonna get your electronic crack, which is your tablets, phones, computers. Sorry, kids are spoiled these days. I have to be in contact with my shadow. I have to be able to assess it when I need to. As a man, we're here to protect our family. So we need to be able to protect our family. So if push comes to shove, somebody break in my house, I can't be hiding in the closet. I should be in front of my family and my wife and kids, getting them away for them to escape. I should be the last one to leave. I have to be in contact with my shadow so I can be strong enough to do things like that. So the shadow is not bad. It's not always bad. Okay, sometimes it's good. They can kick you in the butt, make you do things that you need to do. But this is a beautiful example of it here. Yeah, okay. And what Carl Jung said right here, he said, that which we do not bring to conscience appears in our lives as fate. Man, that's fate. If you notice that the last tragedy, that double murder, double murder, suicide. The guy was on video, and he was saying to his people live, like, I must be that guy. I never think I'll be that guy, I can't go to jail. His shadows had told him he can't go to jail. That's the part he didn't realize. I can't go to jail, and today is today. He didn't realize what he was capable of. Because when you realize what you're capable of, you start to avoid it. He didn't know. Every time I see a tragedy on the news, a woman killed her boyfriend or killed her kids, whatever, I know that person did not do shadow work. Most cases, that person didn't even know they had that within them. Too scared. It's better to realize that you have things in you that you can do because you're human. Then you can deal with it. You can make deals with it. That's when you become more powerful, when you become whole with your shadow. You have to know your shadow. I'll give you another example right quick. I had this friend, right, and he was married, wife and kids. Everything was going perfect, right? Then this beautiful co-worker started working with him, and she wanted him, he wanted her, and he didn't know what to do. He's like, wow, this is powerful attraction. I can't help who I fall in love with. I love my wife and kids, but this thing is so powerful, I don't want to miss out. I might not get another chance to feel this way. So he came for me for advice. Why? I don't know, but it's one of those alpha male things. People come for you for advice. So he came to me with this issue, because all humans, we have these issues of desires that deep within us, that our shadows will bring out if we're not in touch with it. If you're in touch with it, then you can negotiate stuff. So I told him that, hey, if you love your wife and kids is number one. You need to protect yourself from yourself. Meaning that if you lose your wife, your kids, then you could be destroyed. It will destroy you. So if you're okay with losing them, then you can act on your primal instincts, your animal instincts. Because what you're feeling is just animal instincts, basically. It's there. It's good that you know it's there. But if for example, some people, they cheat on their wife, then the wife leave them, then they want to do something for their wife, then they off themselves, something like that. So that's the worst case scenario, but that's a good example. Why you do that if you can handle the consequences? So I told him, hey, because I'm a little joker, I say, hey, what I do is when I have those desires, I just go and, if you just go and thinking of that beautiful picture, then it's going to go away. Because once you go to the moon, that desire will go away. You keep doing that until you come to terms with this, the dark side of you. It's better than losing everything, half of your assets, a relationship with your kids, a relationship with your wife, who you love, over this little animal instinct. I told him he needed to get in contact with his shadow, which I didn't go in detail with it because it sounds stupid. Every time I mention the shadow, people think I'm a lunatic. But I know he's not in contact with his shadow. Now, personally, for me, if I have a situation like that, because I'm a flight nurse, I go away from my wife like months at a time, sometimes. Personally, I know my shadow. I'm in contact with it. So it's easier for me. If I see a woman with perfect body that is my type, like they say that the devil will bring you your type. So if you're trying to be good, the devil gonna bring you your type. So it's a foot-locking girl want to give an old boy fly me to the moon job, and I want that job. I know that I want that job, so it's easy for me to just avoid it. It's beautiful. I'm not gonna go around somebody I'm attracted to, date the opposite sex. I'm just gonna avoid it. Avoidance. I'm not gonna drink, because alcohol make you primitive, make you animal instincts come out, and alcohol also make you don't give it down. So there's no way in hell I'm gonna hang out with them, happy hour, drink with them. We're not gonna hang out like Jack and Chrissy and Three's Company. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I don't play with that, because I know my family is most important to me, and I'm a leader. I know those little animal instincts. It's going to happen again. It'll go from here to here to here to here, you know. So that's why I love being in contact with my shadow. That's why I'm teaching my kids to get in contact with their shadow. They need to know what's there so they can come to terms with it and make deals with it, so you can prevent bad things from happening to you. So you can prevent these so-called fate. It was fate, you know. And then another thing, I'm gonna throw the extra in here. When me and my kids are out and about, you know, I always make sure they respect others. They respect people's spaces. I make sure they don't try to bump into other people. Because I know if something happened to them, if somebody cussed them out or slapped them, then I'm gonna go crazy, right? My shadow will come out and I can wind up locked up forever. So I always tell my kids to be respectful of other human beings, watch their spaces, be polite. If you find somebody who's a little thrown off, be kindly and try to escape it, walk away. Because it's prevention. You don't want to be one of those people locked up forever because of a fight. You got angry, your ego took over, and you locked up for 20 years because somebody fell and hit their head. So being in contact with the shadow is a good thing. It's not bad at all. And bringing it out. And that's one way I do it. I just, as far as my shadow, as far as desires, I just abort that desire if it can destroy my family. And also, I talk to my wife and kids to get them to talk about their shadow. Let me get back in this last quote down in this video. Okay. Right here, he said, we cannot change anything unless we accept it. We have to accept what we are. Once we accept what we are, we can live our life in peace. We can negotiate with it. For example, if I like lemon pie, and lemon pie make me fat, right? I can negotiate with my shadow and say, hey, well, if I just get it once a week, maybe on Sundays only. You know, that's a good thing. And we have to figure out what we are, what we're capable of. And the last one here, I'm skip this one and go to this one. In William Shakespeare, you know, the favorite, you know, famous William Shakespeare, he said, this thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine. It means he come to terms with his darkness. Like you know what you are. This beautiful thing what you know you are. This William Shakespeare. This from centuries ago, y'all. This thing's been around forever. Last one is thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. He said thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. It's easy for me to look at other people and just judge them. Because I don't have to think. I can say, well, that person's stupid. He did this or that. You know, if I were him, I wouldn't have did it. Well, if he's human and I'm human, I could have did the same things. It's better to work on yourself, the self-acknowledgement. Work on your shadow, on your dark side, whatever you want to call it. It's not always a bad thing. You know, sometimes your shadow needs to kick in the butt. Say, hey, get up and go to work. What the hell wrong with you? You got a wife and kids at home. Go home, old man. Don't be in the club. You know what I'm saying? So your shadow is a good thing. But most of the tragic incidents you see on the news, that snapping stuff, you snap when you don't know you can snap. You need to know you can snap. So, I'm in this video, but I don't want people to work on their shadow. Research it. Call Jung. He got a lot of information on it. And also, you have these 12 archetypes. You know, we had to go back and learn from great people and great psychologists. We all need therapy, you know, but all the information is out there. It's on the internet. It's in books. I got a lot of books here. I got books like, my kids read this book called Lord of the Flies, so understand what happens when one group become dominant than the other. What exactly happened, because it's still happening today. I read the book, I get mad at them. I make them read Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. I teach them techniques that great Greeks use. And I teach them techniques how to get over some things. For example, I don't know the person that said it. I know it was a Stoic. I don't know what Stoic said, but he said, why get angry of something that is true? So if somebody talking about you, if it's true, why get angry of it? And he also said, why get angry if something is not true? If it's not true, why even think about it? Why even laugh about it? It should be funny. Somebody telling you something about you that is not true. Man, when I was a teenager, I used to love rumors. Somebody had a rumor about me, I just taken in, and I'm trying to make the rumor true just to have fun. No reason to correct a rumor, because you correct a rumor, then they know the truth about you. So me and my friend Eddie, we say, oh, it's a rumor about us. Let's make the rumors true, or let's start some rumors. This person like making rumors. Let's get right beside them. Let's start a rumor. And I did it before. I did that work before. And also, lastly, this book here, The Brave New World. Yeah, Brave New World. This is a beautiful book here. It tells you what's happening today. And he wrote this book centuries ago, I think maybe 1930s or 40s. It's a long time ago. And what's going on in his book is going on today. That's about it. It's a little bit on the shadow. Like I said, it's deep topic. So if you want to know more about the shadow, leave in the comments. I don't mind diving down deep in it. It's just most people, they don't want to go that deep when it comes down to personalities and what desires inside of them, what's inside of them. Okay, just about it. Just in the more black attack. I just want to make a video on the shadow because I talk about it a lot. Goodbye.